What's up everybody, it is Speqtor. You guys voted on my last video, or submitted your vote directly to me because you don't have a Google Plus account, and that's fine. And the topic that you guys chose to celebrate reaching 200 subscribers is top 5 favorite Pokemon. Now, I know what you're thinking.
But Brandon, the title says top 20 favorite Pokemon part 1. What's the dealio, Celio?
What's the dealio, Celio? You guys really need to work on your Pokemon puns, because that's sad. I'm sorry, it just is. Let me explain. When I was coming up with the list of possible Pokemon for the top 5, I ended up with a total of 30 Pokemon that I couldn't take off the list. With 719 Pokemon to choose from, and the fact that Pokemon has played a huge part in my life as a whole, it's pretty obvious that it's a little hard to narrow it down to just 5. So, this is going to be part 1 of a top 20 list, with a few honorable mentions. Without further ado, let's get started. To keep it short, I'll rapid fire the honorable mentions with some key points as to why I like them. Go! Mamoswine, great typing, good move pool, cool design, and Swinub is so cute. Malamar, great typing, unique evolution method, and Inkay is so cute. Galvantula, I hate spiders, but cool typing, good move pool, and both evolutions are so cute. Togekiss, great design, got way better with the fairy typing, and all 3 evolutions are so cute. Swalot, I don't know honestly, I just kinda do. Now, on with the list. Holding up the very bottom of the list is Blastoise. Now, one would assume that somebody who has played Pokemon since the first generation would probably have what is presumably their first starter a little higher on the list, right? The problem with this is that Blastoise is indeed my first starter that I played with. I didn't choose him. My first time actually playing a Pokemon game was on my cousin's cartridge. I myself didn't own a Pokemon game for quite some time. So what I assumed to be my first starter is much higher on the list. And even though Blastoise isn't exactly my first starter, he definitely holds at least a little bit of significance to make it onto the list. Next up on the list we have Diglett. I would have put Dugtrio, but let's face it, that's just 3 Digletts, so I'll make it a little simpler and just use Diglett. I know that everybody's big deal with Diglett is what lies under the ground, what does the bottom of Diglett look like? But not for me. My biggest thing with Diglett is, what is this? How does this make sense? This doesn't work. How is he on water? Why is he on a chair? How is he up in the sky? This doesn't make any sense. And he's got a good speed stat, and that's why he's on the list. Next off, we have Corsola. My liking of Corsola actually didn't come until I started this YouTube channel. Here's some backstory. When I started this channel, I actually didn't intend to do solely Pokemon-based content. In fact, I was going to do lots and lots and lots of different other video game type content. But for my first series, I played Pokemon Stadium 2 with my buddy Hell's Angel 123456, who as of now doesn't post YouTube videos anymore. But as we were picking our teams for a free battle, Andrew, that's his name by the way, randomly decides to call out, "No, pick Corsola!" And it was like the funniest thing that I had ever heard for some reason. And since then, that's just been an ongoing joke between us. And so, yeah, that's why I like Corsola. Plus, whenever I catch one, I can name it Coral. Coral! Coral! The Titanic is sinking, Coral! Next off, we have Shedinja. Now, Shedinja is on this list purely for nostalgic value. I mean, yeah, he's got a really unique typing. I love ghost types, obviously. And he's got an awesome ability that prevents anything that isn't super effective from hitting it. But the main reason that he is on this list is because back in the day, when the internet wasn't exactly as thriving as it is now, there was this air of mystery around Shedinja. I heard about Shedinja from a friend who said that if you have an extra slot open in your party and you have an extra Pokeball, that you'll get another Pokemon when Nincada evolves. And obviously, back in the day, kids on the playground weren't exactly the best source for Pokemon information. I mean, kids like that had me scouring grass patches in red and blue to try and find Peekaboo, and had me trying to figure out how to get to the truck next to the SS Anne to try and find the alleged Mew that was there. But luckily, I decided to take a chance and train up a Nincada, and when I finally got that Shedinja, I was so happy and amazed that information that had been passed on to me via the playground was actually true. Plus, he's kind of adorable, and in X and Y, you can't can't feed him any Pokepuffs and Pokemon and meat because he doesn't have a mouth, and that's sad. Glaceon. For me, there's an unspoken rule that at least one evolution has to make it into your top favorite Pokemon list. And with 8 of them to choose from, it's not even a hard thing to do. But out of all 8, Glaceon definitely stands on top for me. Before I realized the awesome power that is Ghost types, Ice types were actually my favorite. And when I found out that Eevee got an Ice type evolution back in 4th gen, I flipped. It just looks so sleek and cool and like it'll freeze your face off. Or maybe not, because it loves you, but unless it doesn't, it'll probably freeze your face off. But that's okay, because it's adorable, and that's fine. That's fine. Freeze my face off. You know what's cool? Bats. You know what's cooler than that? Dragons. You know what's even cooler than both of those things? A bat dragon. That's right, next up is Noivern. Now, Noivern was one of the first Pokemon that they revealed during leaks for X and Y, and I fell in love. I wasn't very into dragons before they revealed Noivern, but at the time that it was revealed, I was actually a part-time music producer. I made dubstep and it wasn't that good, but you know, I tried. And when I saw Noivern, I was like, oh my freaking god, dubstep dragon. And of course, in my first playthrough of X and Y, the first thing that I did when I got to Terminus Cave was catch a Noibat. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to train it up to level 48, but once I did, it was a monster, and I loved that monster. Wigglytuff. Brandon, what even? Why is Pink Fluffball higher on the list than Bat Dragon and Blastoise? Well, good sir, or ma'am, if you have a manly voice, this bouncing bug-eyed behemoth has an ungodly array of moves to access, paired with a 140 base HP stat and the competitive ability, which raises its special attack when one of any of its other stats is lowered, makes this thing a pain in the ass to deal with. And come on, let's face it, it's adorable. We all fell in love with that Jigglypuff from the first season of the anime, so it's only natural that we should all fall in love with Wigglytuff, right? This Pokemon needs no introduction. Gengar has sat comfortably in my top 20 favorite Pokemon since I started playing back in Red and Blue. Gengar is the OG Ghost-type Pokemon. I mean, unless you count, Ghastly, because that was probably what you encountered first. But Gengar's better. Just all around better, obviously. I mean, he's the final form. And speaking of final forms, when I found out that he got a Mega Evolution in X and Y, I flipped. You can say all you want about his tiny legs, but Mega Gengar is a freaking beast. And I can't wait until the Phantom Gate TCG set comes out here in America, because I am going to be searching for that Mega Gengar card. You know, the ultra rare one? The one that everybody's wanting? Yeah, I want that. I want it for myself, and I want it framed and freaking put in carbonite so it'll never, ever fade away. Forever. Ever. Ever. Okay, next Pokemon. Bastiodon. I can already hear you competitive players whining right now. Aggron is the better Steel Rock choice. Why would you ever like Bastiodon? Oh, its design is so stupid. No. Bastiodon is adorable. Shieldon is especially adorable, but Bastiodon is awesome and adorable. I love this thing. I don't know why. It's got that weird underbite with 4 teeth, and it looks like it's got the side of a house for a face, and I love it. Also, you want to know what I name my Bastiodons all the time? Pillow. Because that's exactly what he will never function as, is a pillow. Unless you really like hard, cold pillows. Remember when I said that Blastoise wasn't my first starter? And remember when I said that my real first starter was going to be higher on the list? Well, did you expect it to be number 1 at the bottom half of my top 20? Oh, you did? Well, good for you. But for those of you who didn't guess it, yeah, it's number 11. The first Pokemon game that I ever actually owned was Pokemon Gold. And the starter that I picked? Cyndaquil. That's right, number 11 is Typhlosion. Obviously, back when I was 9, the internet wasn't exactly a thing for me, so I knew nothing going into these games. And when I saw Cyndaquil sitting on that table, I said, Yep, that's the one. That's the one. I gotta have it. Look, it's like a little mouse thing, and it's got fire coming out of its back. I'm sold. Cyndaquil and I were unstoppable, and eventually he evolved into a Quilava. And after a bunch of rigorous training, he finally evolved just south of Ecruteak City into the monster that is Typhlosion. From there on, it was just me and this weird fireback bear badger thing. What is Typhlosion? It looks like a badger. It's big like a bear? I don't know, but that doesn't matter because together we destroyed the Johto League. We had absolutely no problem taking out Claire's Kingdra at all. He stayed by my side through the Johto League and the Kanto League all the way up to Red with absolutely no problem standing in his way. He was also the first Pokemon that I ever did a solo run with back when I replayed Pokemon Gold. And needless to say, no problems at all. Typhlosion will always hold a really special spot in my heart, and that's why he's #1 at the back half of the list. Guys, before I end this video, I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Chespin Jr. who helped me out with the intro at the beginning of this video. So awesome. His work is awesome. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. You guys can go check him out. Maybe he'll do some work for you. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to leave some fan art that my friend Alice did for me. I'll leave links to her stuff in the description. Maybe she'll do some art for you too. If you enjoyed the video and you're hyped for the final 10, leave a like and leave a comment telling me about your top 10 favorite Pokemon. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe for more Pokemon goodness because I got more videos coming out in the near future. This has been Speqtor. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay bueno.